So let's go straight, you know, to a developing story that we all are very much interested in. And there will be another sitting on that today. And that is the Bugri Nabu leaked tape. Now, committee probing alleged plot to oust IGP to continue sitting today. You can find the story on the Citi newsroom. Now it reads, the Parliamentary Committee probing a leaked audio recording on the alleged plot to remove the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Dr. George Akuffo Dampare, is expected to continue its sittings today, September 4, 2023. Already, the prime witness, former Northern Regional Chairman of the NPP, Chief Bugri Nabu, has been interrogated by the committee. Following the appearance of Bugri Nabu, two police officers, Superintendent Emmanuel Jibi and key witness Commissioner George Mensah, have both been grilled by the Atacha-led committee. The third police officer, Superintendent George Asare, is expected to face the committee today. Following claims by COP George Mensah that the IGP orchestrated the recording of the leaked tape and has the original copy and must be called upon if the committee needs the tape, several persons have shared varied opinions on the issue. While a member of the committee probing the issue, James Agalga, said the committee may invite the IGP to help in the investigation. Former Deputy Defense Minister Major Derek Oduro, retired, thinks otherwise. Quote, there is no need for the IGP to be invited because it is an accusation against him, and I don't know the terms of reference, that is, of the committee, and we are talking about a leaked tape, and I'm not sure the terms of reference cover anything that will warrant the invitation of the IGP. And so, I don't think it is in a good direction for them to invite the IGP, unquote, Major Derek Oduro said. So this is what has been going on, and Mensah, I'm sure you have been following the sitting and the investigation so far. I don't know what you make of the whole thing, from the meetings to the recordings to the public hearing of this whole issue.
Yes, thank you very much. A very good morning to our cherished viewers out there. I think this matter, it's a very interesting one. If you look at how the whole matter started evolving from the recording, how the recording was leaked, you know, and since the committee was set up to probe the issues, I've followed in bits the testimony of the key person in the conversation, which is it a COP, what's his name, Maxwell?
Which of them are you looking for?
The COP, who is
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah. Is it Alex Mensah?
Mensah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also Mensah. Oh, terrible. Extremely terrible.
Why?
I mean, my whole worry in this case is not about the recording, not about...
So he's George, actually?
George, yes. Not about the recording, not about even the content of the recording, but the appearance of this police officer in front of the committee, parliamentary committee, his posture, his sense of entitlement, his delusion, I don't know if it's a delusion that he's suffering from, you know, really scares me. And the ultimate question is, how many of such people do we have in our public service? Not just the police, not just the military, not just the judiciary, but in the entire public service. How many of such people, extreme, tribalistic, partisan, nepotistic, you know, mediocre thinking public servants do we have in our system? How many of such people? And for me, if we have such people, even in the judiciary, then it's more scary. And it's obvious that we have our own COP, our own versions of COP, Alex Mensah, in the judiciary and in other public sectors. My God, that he was confident to admit his partisan nature, and that he felt he was entitled to be IGP and went about lobbying for it. And so all this whole fracas is about he should have been IGP.
Yeah.
All this fracas, we are here. We've set up a whole parliamentary committee incurring national cost. Because some ridiculous police officer who have lost sight of his own sense. And if you look at his interview, you know, his posturing in front of the committee, it's so annoying. And you have such a person. We've set up a committee because this guy thinks he should have been the one to be an IGP. Since when did any police officer who joined the force promised an IGP? Or the country is being run based on people's sentimentalism. Yeah. We have laws we work within a process. If you lobbied for IGP and you didn't get, and somebody got, what is the big deal? It's only one person who can be an IGP at a time. So why all this? I am not a fan of Dampare. But I
but why?
I'm not a fan of some of the things he's done and continues to do. As an IGP, you know, even currently, we have a problem with the posture of the police because of our impending demonstration. We are at war with the police because the police every now and then want to try and use the back door to truncate our inalienable rights to demonstrate, which is guaranteed under the Constitution. But I know we'll come to that issue. So I'm not a big fan of Dampare. But he has done some good things in the police service. I love the police visibility on our roads now. I love the reduction of crime rates. I can see some orderliness. Police extortions on our roads have gone down drastically. At least there are some visible achievements that we can see that he's brought to the police service. But that is even beside the point. Whoever gets to become IGP needs the support of the colleague commissioners to perform. And so if you're a commissioner and you lobbied for IGP and he didn't get, you wait for another day and lobby again. What is all this fracas about? I don't see, I mean, if I listen to the, if you listen to the tape, there's no head or tail of the tape. Nothing. Apart from somebody who is in his own head trying to spew arrant nonsense. I mean, there's nothing, and I don't know why Parliament is wasting everybody's time on this particular thing. I don't know why we're wasting everybody's time and it's even telecasted live on TV. Over what? We are just glorifying this guy. You know, if you're a police officer and you wanted to be an IGP and you couldn't get an IGP, what is the big deal? Is it every police officer or any person who has served in the Ghana Police Service who got a chance to become an IGP? There's so many commissioners who are even more qualified than you, this guy sitting there. And they are not IGPs. So what is all this about? I mean, we need to call a spade a spade. The politicization of our state institutions is one of the fundamental problems affecting this country. And continuously, if you read the U.S. Department of State Human Rights report, our credentials keep falling and falling and falling. Our state institutions keep weakening and weakening. And it's all because of this extreme politicization and people like COP Alex Mensah in our public service. It's because of people like him. That's why we are scoring low and low and low in every aspect. Because if you have such a person, even if we have one of such people in the judiciary, in the military, in other public, state public offices, we are in trouble.
Yeah. We
are in trouble. And we need to call a spade a spade. This guy needs to be called out. And I don't know this committee Parliament set up to what end. You can't profess any punitive sanctions against him. Parliament cannot sanction him. So I don't know why they are wasting all of us our time. This matter should have just been thrown away or given to whichever agency to deal with, which could profess proper punishments.
But
stop
what
giving this
should the
guy an
punishment
audience.
be? If I come to lobby that I think I want to be IGP, I say all that, why should a person be punished?
But if you listen to the tape very clearly, you know, there are certain comments he made that undermines, you know, the peace and stability of this country. Those comments
regarding the mafia tactics, and stuff like that
in our elections and
yeah.
what have you, they have the propensity to undermine this peace and stability of this country. And that matter should have properly dealt with on that angle alone. As for the rest, we are not interested in whether he wanted to be IGP or not. That guy shouldn't have been put on TV to spew the rubbish he's spewing before that committee. We shouldn't be glorifying him furthermore.
Right. Let me pick your thoughts as well, Jeffrey. So this is a public hearing that we are having now. In the first place, should we put this on TV? Because this is security matters as well. You know, should we citizens even know that this is what we are dealing with? Shouldn't it have been, you know, do this in camera, get a team together, let's solve this problem, because now we are putting it out there. We know the cracks in the top police hierarchy. You know, this is a commissioner speaking, and if this is his position, what kind of message is it sending to the entire police force and by extension citizens?
I'm glad. Good morning, and thanks for the opportunity to also say my little around this topic. For the committee, I think it was proper to make it public. Okay. It was proper. We've heard over and over some of the accusations about the Ghana Police Service, and a few times you've had the denials and the rebuttals from the service themselves, and the public, you know, discussion has been on and on. So I think it was a good thing to have a committee, and we won't step up the job of a committee for them. We'll just go by their own pace. I think they are doing a good job, and we await their report. Remember, whatever they put out here, we have also watched. We've listened to the man and we've listened to the tape. So it will also tell us what reports that we are even expecting already. I will hold myself to the posturing of the officer, to say the least. I'll hold myself. But I have had the humbling opportunity of living with service commanders from infantry with KOD and the rest. We lived at Rage. I saw CK Dawonu as an IGP. So I'm talking about yesterday, way back yesterday in the 80s, to come to the 90s. I saw service commanders. I've lived to see the Walankakis and the rest. I've seen senior police officers, you would think they don't even know how to speak in public. So, I mean, I know that, and look at their motto, service with integrity. So if you listen to the man, would move forward. And I'll tell you what, I saw this issue from three perspectives. Administrative, the public image, and the political angle that this matter has taken so far before the committee. It's a matter of, if you ask me, for want of any sober word, this is gross insubordination for a man in a chain of, look, the military and the police are not like, you know, I have respect for all organizations, but when you wear the uniform, there's something we call orderliness.
Discipline.
I mean, and it comes from the grassroots. I mean, from the last officer, lance corporal, come up. Look, if the person is one rank ahead of you, he's your boss. Of course. Let alone talk about the Inspector General of Police, the general. And even if he's sitting in public, look at the posturing. I mean, somebody could have, by the word go, say, I can't speak about my boss in public. That is a soldier for you, that's a policeman for you. But this is what he did to us. I mean, his posturing, some of the things he's saying.
To say that he's the worst IGP in history.
That is one comment. That is one comment. Hold it up there. Tomorrow, the questions will go. But let's move on. I mean, an improper complaint channel. I mean, how do you complain in your channels? It's the chief, he accepted, that's why I'm speaking on that matter, that it was his voice on some of the things he accepted saying. It's booking up. When did the chief enlist into the police service? Is he a member of the police council? And even if he was the chairman of a police council, is that the best way to complain? You should, if you want it official, write it officially.
No, he's complaining because he wants to be IGP, so he's lobbying.
Well, I want to be kind to him that he was complaining in the interest of the service. Let me pretend I'm confused. Is that the way you channel your complaints? The next thing is actually conflicting interpretation. The man accepts that it was through acquiring the chartered accountant certificate that the man became a superintendent over him. You agreed on that one. But you come back and tell me that you don't understand why he became a commissioner of police and even got appointed ahead of you. That is another conflicting issue. Now it's an affront to the police council. You see, people think he's actually doubting a political party. No. Appointments in the police service are done with advice from the police council. And so the comment he's making there, he's not only attacking the person of the IGP, but also the integrity of the police council that actually advises a president on the appointment of an IGP. Now let's go to the image of a police service. Service with integrity, and this is the behavior of a senior police officer. So that service with integrity has been challenged. It's sad, unfortunate, but I have a way of sitting back and watching, and I've seen what I've seen. Now, look, there's always been existing perceptions about questioning the integrity of the Ghana police service. When people said, oh, the police takes bribes. This is through research works of some of the CSOs, okay? Then we saw videos. Then the police stepped up and punished some officers. Now the question has gone beyond the police service, the officials in there, but then the integrity of the council itself that appoints, from what we have heard. So let's move forward. The next one is actually the political angle. Not through my words, not through any of us, our words, through his own words. He says he's actually a political sympathizer of a political party. The police authorities have their own rules. Let's go if it is accepted that one can come out and say he's a political sympathizer. That is one. Then he goes ahead, once he has finished with himself, he goes ahead to tag his sitting IGP. That when the sitting IGP's party was in place, that's when they favored him. That is another serious matter. For me, somebody says you should go and bring, the IGP has no question to answer on this one. It is somebody who says he has a party, the person should prove why he said that. And that person is the one facing the committee. Then the issue of accusing the political class. This is always a matter. As a man in uniform, you have accused the political class, that is a political appointment. But you see, by the structures in itself, it is a political class that heads the police council. So it's actually the vice president who actually chairs the police council. So some of these accusations, you are attacking the political class, the hierarchy, the executive. So there needs to be some clarity so that moving forward, some of these things will be corrected. For the way forward, I think the police administration must apply their internal rules. Aside this committee, I mean, the committee can still go ahead with their work, but within the police service, the commander can call you to order as to whether the matter concerns the commander himself or not. Well, he can be professional to recuse himself, but then give authority to somebody else to put you to check. The man actually is on leave now, proceeding to his retirement. But let me tell you what, since my public funds will pay him whilst every commissioner of police, you retire on your salary, I can be corrected on that one. But if that is the case, then some of the sanctions can still apply. The police PRO, however, must come out and clarify these matters, even ahead of the committee's work. Some of the things that have been said, they should speak before, you know, some of the further damage is done. But for the CSOs, I think we as a group, we've come out severally to caution about this integrity and the perceptions of people. It's for no reason that globally, when it comes to issues of corruption, mismanagement, there was an importance to have the perception index. Because at the end of the day, sometimes chasing the facts becomes so difficult that you have to work on the perceptions of the people whose money have been used, the public fund. So I think for the police service, I wish them well. They should carry on. It won't mean that there are no diligent, hard-working men in the force. We respect them, but the council, the IGP, the top hierarchy must sit up on this matter.
I think just a point before. I think some reforms, you know, we're constantly talking about reforms in the police service, and the work of this committee must go to reform, to implement certain strategic reforms, and to, I think that the work of the committee should rather, you know, the focus should be on reformatory things that we can do in order to get rid of people like COP Alex Mensah off the service. You know, that is. But
Mensah, so he's made some damning statements. In that same regard, he's also raised some issues that people are not happy, people are this. Yeah, so maybe we also have to now look at some of these little things, and then, like you mentioned, you know, pay attention to some of the issues that have been raised.
He's the only one who is not happy because he's not IGP.
But Mensah, I think
no, but he's raised certain issues. So shouldn't it go beyond?
But let me ask Firma. Yeah. People are not happy. Do you expect somebody doing the wrong thing to be happy when he's being corrected?
No. So what I'm trying to say is,
the perceptions, the reports we receive over time. painted some perceptions of corruption about some men.
And the police force is always leading.
The police force tried to purge itself, even having pips within the police service, accepting and correcting it. You think those who are accepted to be playing foul and punished, they will like it?
Exactly. The point
they
is
will
that
not like it,
the point that the
obviously.
system, when people are benefiting from a system, when anybody comes in and try to change the system, the people won't be happy. They'll fight the change. And so I think the interrogation should be, are people genuinely not happy? Because we have how many men in the service? We haven't seen anybody complain apart from COP Alice Mensah. And all his complaints are not based on any concrete thing that is happening. And throughout his conversation, even in front of the parliamentary committee, he's not been able to cite any specific administrative operational constraint or mishap being perpetrated by Dampare that he's not happy about. He hasn't been able to state one. Just making ridiculous assertions and concocting things that do not benefit anybody, that do not add anything to the service. And so we need to get rid of people like that. People who have that unacceptable sense of entitlement.
But do we really have to get the IGP to come before the committee?
I don't see the need, honestly. I don't think the IGP has any question to answer. I don't think he has any questions as far as this matter is concerned. In any case, what I think the committee can do with the IGP is to work together with the IGP based on their report and see how they can reform, they can implement some of the, because we are picking a lot of things from the committee hearing. Yeah. So all those things must advise. So it must be advisory. Okay, so how can we? But the principal thing is to get rid of people like COP Alice Mensah from the service. People like him. And I'm sure we may have a couple of people like him in the service. They don't deserve. If you look at the guy, his posture, his appearance, his dressing, he doesn't even deserve to be an armed robber. The guy looks clearly like a miscreant in front of the committee. And if you look at his posture and how he's cropped his beard.
No. I mean, you can't. It has nothing to do with anything.
No, it has everything to do with the service.
But he says,
as a police officer,
he says that he has been on leave, waiting for his retirement.
You are not
so now he says he doesn't even wear the uniform to do anything.
Even though he's not in active service, he's still a member of the service. He's still in the service.
So let's look at what he's saying and don't just attack him.
I'm not attacking him.
Exactly.
There are certain professions. Your appearance, for example, you can't wear anything and come and sit on TV.
Yeah.
You can't do your hair style anyhow and put some powder on your face and come and sit here. So every service have code of conduct as far as appearance is concerned. His appearance, even on TV, as a police officer, was extremely unacceptable.
What should he have worn?
Look at his beard and his mustache and that's what he was wearing and how he was sitting in his posture. Is that a police officer trained? My God. And if you have such people in the service,
all right.
And I'm not surprised people are asking for psychological evaluation. I've heard Adam Bona and co asking that some psychological evaluation be performed of him. It's a right call. I don't think the guy is within his right senses.
Right. So we'll look at that. We have to go on break now.
We also have to be fair to the IGP. I will be fair to him and say I congratulate him for his composure. Around all this time, look, I've heard senior officers in all the security services, when certain things affect them a little bit, they have the chance to also speak. All through, he has proved that he's serving in a service with integrity.
Right. So that is one for the IGP.